Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre the Beast Creighton Show. Today, we're going to talk about obstacles, having dreams, and then being detoured or derailed. How do you come back from that derailment? And how does that derailment define you? And how do you keep moving on with a new sense of purpose? Today on the show, a young lady has done that. She's taken derailment and turned it into a purpose. I'd like to welcome to the show, Miss Hannah Ruggles, to the show. How you doing, Hannah?
Thank you so much for having me, Andre.
Your story is definitely one of importance. And what I mean by importance is you shared a lot of information that most people would keep it in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start out with telling the viewers a little bit about you before we get into your story and your journey.
Yeah, so I'm a local to Indy. I'm 30 years old. I went to high school out in Fortville. I went to Mount Vernon.
Okay.
Went to IU for college. So go Hoosiers.
Yeah.
And I'm currently a first responder. I'm a firefighter paramedic for the city of Muncie.
Your life, what was it like for you growing up? I've heard of Fortville. That's the further east part of Indianapolis. I've probably been there maybe 3 or 4 times. It's vastly growing right now. But what was it like growing up in Fortville for you?
It was a small town. Everybody knew everybody. You knew somebody's story, whether they told it to you or not.
Really?
So, yeah, you knew everybody's family. It was one of those towns you walk down the street and you didn't know a stranger.
Right.
And it was a very nice, friendly community. School itself was very small. I think I graduated with maybe 200 people.
Right.
Which I know there's smaller out there, but there's much bigger. So we knew each other. We are still close-knit, I would say, as a group. Your story gets around pretty quick, whether you want it to or not. You can't really hide things.
Was there a moment in your life during high school that maybe you were trying to hide things or you hid things that all of a sudden came to the surface?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like what?
I was bullied pretty bad in high school.
Really?
So wanting to fit in, wanting to be liked, wanting to have friends. I would say I put on a facade. I put on a fake face, trying to be somebody I wasn't, but also trying to be who I wanted to be myself. I clashed a lot with my faith and who I wanted to be. A lot of things did come to the surface.
When you say your faith, what did you want to be? Explain that a little bit more.
I wanted to be a God-fearing person. I wanted to be, a strong, steadfast in my faith. Mm-hmm. But I wavered a lot. I started to get into drinking, which led to troubles down the road we'll talk about, and just following the wrong crowd because I wanted to fit in so bad.
What was your parents at during this time? Did they see the struggles that you was dealing with? Because we're talking about Fortville, and for those viewers who don't know the geographical area of Indianapolis or Indiana in general, it's a small community, but now it's growing.
Yeah.
What was it? What was your parent? Did your parents know any of this that you was dealing with? And what did they do for a living?
My parents work in healthcare, but they were also very, very big into their Christian faith.
Okay.
So I think they probably suspected I was doing some things I shouldn't have, but I don't think they knew it was to the degree that it was.
The degree that it turned?
Yeah. I think my parents suspected, I was sneaking out, or maybe I was going out with friends that, weren't the friends that they knew. So I think they knew that I was up to something. Don't think they knew what.
But in Fortville, everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
And nothing ever surfaced to your parents about that. There may be, Hannah may need some attention here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's a question I'd have to ask my parents that, honestly, I'm a little embarrassed to find out what they knew and what they didn't. Some things they knew, some things they didn't. I did act out in school. I got into a lot of fights, so I think they knew something was going on, but I don't think they knew quite how to handle it. I'm the oldest, so I don't think they knew how to really navigate it. And I was headstrong. I was a tough kid to raise.
Did you get into the fights because the fact that you had to be tough to get accepted, or did you just get into fights because people just didn't understand who you were because you bought a faith? You try to be faith driven, and that may not have been the what the cool kids do.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with it. I think it's both.
Okay.
I think it's both. I also had very protective instincts, and I still do. So my younger sister was a freshman when I was a senior. So I got into a lot of fights protecting her because we're complete opposites. As I got to senior year, I did kind of get more friends, where my sister is more quiet and introverted, and she was into art and all that, weird stuff, as you would say. But so when she got picked on, I was very quick to throw punches.
Really?
Yeah. I was not slow to anger.
What did the counselors share with your parents? By this time, if it's the school system, like I think, they're reporting your behavior. Your parents now have to have some indication that something is troubling you.
Yeah. I think my parents just thought that I just had a temper. I don't think they realized all the bullying that was happening. And by the time I think they did realize was about the middle of senior year, and at that point, I only had a few more months left, and then I was out for college. So I straightened up pretty quick because I got threatened with expulsion before graduation, and if that would have happened, I wouldn't have got my degree. So I straightened up pretty quick because I wanted to go to college.
What did you go to college for?
I have my bachelor's in criminal justice.
Okay. When did the introduction of alcohol take place in your life?
Yeah, I got introduced at 16.
So you was in high school.
I was still in high school.
Was this peer pressure, or you just did it to cope?
I think it was both. Yeah, it was both. I think I wanted to cope with the bullying so bad and wanting to fit in the peer pressure that everybody around me was doing it. So maybe if I did it too, I would fit in more and be able to cope.
What was the consequences from that? Some of the consequences, because evidently there were quite a few.
Yeah. Lots of hangovers, as you can imagine.
And your parents were not seeing this?
I don't
Hangovers is something you just don't.
I know. You notice it. Yeah. I don't know, because they never flat out came out and said anything to me.
I think you're gonna go home and ask a whole bunch of questions to your parents. I guarantee you.
I'm gonna be pretty embarrassed if they hear this. Yeah, I don't know that they saw anything. I can imagine that I wasn't as sneaky as I thought I was. Yeah, a lot of hangovers, a lot of health stuff. When we get to 2014, I kind of faced some hardships in life.
Like what?
I was in a car wreck in February of 2014 that should have killed me. I was T-boned and my car flipped 3.5 times, landed upside down in a 5-foot ditch, and I was trapped inside.
Who was driving?
I drove. It was middle of the day. I was headed to work, and I got T-boned by a gentleman that was texting and driving, blew a stop sign at full speed. So after that, That summer, in a matter of 13 weeks, I lost my grandparents. So I lost both my grandmothers. I never knew my grandpas. So I lost all my grandparents in one summer. So the alcohol, the drinking really increased at that point.
You wasn't under the influence yourself during this accident?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
Nope. I was actually headed to work. I think I was headed there to pick up my paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember I needed to head to school to take an exam afterwards.
Okay.
So it was middle of the day.
You wake up in the hospital.
Yeah.
And then you get the impact of all these other things happening. When you have that happen to you, you wake up, what's the first thing that goes through your mind?
I was in a tremendous amount of pain when I woke up in the hospital. I had hairline fractures from my hips to my ankles. I was in a trauma center. I remember bits and pieces still to this day. It knocked me out. I lost consciousness. No, I remember only one person stopped by the car wreck to actually help. And it was a firefighter that lived in Fortville,
Really?
our small town. And he knew me because I was in the same grade as his daughter growing up. And if it weren't for that man, I don't know what my injuries would have been.
Right. What about the guy? Did you ever hear what happened to him?
No, I have no idea.
So you move forward with your life. So now with this accident and the loss of your grandparents, I'm sorry about that, your life really starts to change. So you rely more heavily on intoxication, I guess.
Yeah, I was going out to bars 2-3 times a week, drinking. I was being pretty unsafe. Didn't Uber or Lyft hardly ever because I lived with my parents. So if I didn't come home with my car, they'd give it away that I was doing something I shouldn't have been doing or that they would frown upon. So I was being pretty unsafe. I was drinking a lot, drinking very heavily. There's plenty of nights I don't remember, don't know what I did.
So you block out at people's houses?
Houses, bars, wherever.
I knew somebody, I won't mention their name, but I knew somebody that did that. I had never heard of it until I seen it. And I couldn't fathom going to a bar and bringing people to your house that you don't even know, and they wind up staying in your house for days because you don't know who they are. You don't even remember.
Yeah.
That never scared you?
I was the one that always went places. So I never brought anybody back to the house to continue the party because I lived with my parents at the time. So I couldn't do that.
But you wasn't worried about something happening to you being at somebody's house?
After the fact. Yeah. Not in the moment, but afterwards, I would have the thoughts of, oh man, what was I thinking? Why did I do that?
But you kept the insanity behavior for how long?
For a minute. In 2015, I got a reality check. Was dating a guy at the time. He wanted to go out and I didn't. So I finally caved in. Said, okay. Not too sure what happened, but I ended up in jail for a Class A misdemeanor of operating while intoxicated.
You don't remember getting behind the wheel?
No.
Where was he at?
At the party?
So you didn't even make it to the party?
I left the party without him knowing. Yeah.
So you get stopped. Fortville.
It was at Hancock County. I was outside of Fortville.
I know where Hancock County is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get
Handcuff County.
you get pulled over there. You're detained. What happens during the detainment?
So I was actually driving a friend's car. I don't even remember where we went. But the cop that pulled me over, it was his niece's car. So that cop was obviously not very nice about anything. And I won't mention names. It's all public record.
Right.
But I won't mention names because at this point in life I do have forgiveness. And I take accountability for what I did. You know, at the end of the day, I went out, I drank, I made the choices I did, and it landed me where it did. But I ended up getting booked into the Hancock County Jail on a Friday night, and I was there till Monday morning when I saw the judge.
What went through your mind up until time to see the judge?
I was scared. I didn't know what to do. It was actually ironic. While I was in there, I was telling the inmates this, and the ladies, they were the nicest people I think I've ever encountered being in jail. Those ladies that were in there with me. And they asked me, they said, you know, how old are you? What do you want to do?
How old were you?
I was 21.
Not a good place to be at 21 years old.
No, sir.
Any type of confinement.
No, sir.
Did you reach out to your parents?
I got my one phone call, and I knew I couldn't call my mom because of her reaction and what it would be. So I called my dad.
What was his reaction?
He was kind. He was loving. I knew he was going to be upset and disappointed, but he wasn't mad. He was more concerned.
Yeah, his daughter's in jail. First time.
Yeah. First time. Yeah.
Well,
I didn't know what to do when it came for court, so I asked the ladies that I was locked up with,
what to do?
what do I do? What do I expect? And they told me, you're going to go in there and judge is going to ask, how do you plead? And you're going to say not guilty. And I went into court. And the judge asked me, how do you plead? And I said not guilty. And that got me a bond. And it got me a bond that I could pay.
Okay. So you get out. Does this behavior continue? Because you're on bond. That means you got to go back. So it seems like to me, you wouldn't repeat the same thing that put you in that situation. But what happens when you get out on bond?
Yeah, so I actually did clean up my act.
Okay.
I had a license suspension. I had to go through classes. I ended up taking a plea deal. So I had the
Explain
conviction.
that to the audience what the plea deal means, because you didn't go to trial. So what was the plea deal?
Yeah, so the plea deal was a deal I made with the prosecutor that represents the state of Indiana that I would plead guilty for a specific sentencing. So instead of spending time in jail, the deal was I got 45 days of a license suspension. I had to do classes, a year probation. I'll be honest, I kind of got off pretty easy the first time. And I don't think the lesson stuck.
And you going to college for criminal major, and you still wind up repeating. Let me go back.
Yeah.
Now that you look at it,
Yeah.
you said you got off lightly.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wish now that maybe he would have been stiffer?
No.
Why?
I think I had to go through what I went through for a reason. If I didn't, I would have ended up killing myself or somebody else.
So you get a lighter till you're looking forward. Mm-hmm. Looking back at me, you got a lighter sentence. Then what happens?
So I was actually clean and sober till I got off probation. Was actually sober for a minute after that. It was the next time that I decided to drink, I got arrested again.
Hancock County?
Marion County.
Oh, that's the big part of Indianapolis.
We're talking the big dogs now.
Yeah, you're in the big dogs town.
Mm-hmm. I was out of my league, man. So this time I get arrested again for another operating while intoxicated.
But you're downtown. Whole different environment to Hancock County.
Mm-hmm. I'm not in small town Fortville anymore.
So what do? It's got to be shocking to call your lifeline again, your father.
Yeah, I didn't call my dad again. I actually called my mom.
What was her reaction? You went from your dad, who was showing love, compassion, understanding. Your mom is deeply religious. What was her reaction now?
My mom is tough. My mom is a tough cookie, man. They were not happy, to my surprise. This was a moment where I blacked out again, so I didn't hardly remember anything again. And to my surprise, the police officer had actually contacted my parents by the time I was even able to get a phone call to them.
Why would he do that? Because that's strange. I never heard that before. Why would he take it upon himself to call versus if you're blacked out, maybe taking you to the hospital or something of that nature?
Yeah, so he actually did end up taking me to the hospital just because of the way I was acting.
Right.
Thinking I was drugged or something else may have been going on. So he did take me to the hospital, but I think he had empathy. I think he felt that. I don't know if God moved on him or what, but he called my parents to come get my car so he wouldn't have to tow it.
How the heck did he get your information? I guess he took your driver license and did a cross-reference your driver license to...
Yeah, I have no idea.
Because it's not like he got access to your phone.
I don't know because I didn't have my phone. So I don't know.
Did you know this particular officer?
Not that I can remember. If I knew him, I would thank him.
So, back to your mom. Your mom is being contacted. Now what happens?
Well, in Marion County, I was in there for a long time. I kind of got lost in the system. I was housed where I wasn't supposed to be housed. So my lawyer couldn't find me, my pastor couldn't find me, my parents couldn't find me.
They lost your paperwork?
Oh, I was lost in the system. Yeah.
How did you know you was lost in the system? Did your lawyer tell you?
I found out after.
Okay.
Well, let me back up. I found out when I went to court to get out of jail. Marion County's, their phone systems suck. So I would make phone calls to my parents and they'd drop. And you're paying for this. My parents are paying for my phone calls. And they would drop.
Not good.
So I got to call them again. They got to pay again. It was a whole thing. So when I finally get to court, the judge looks at me and says, I don't know why you're in here. And I don't say nothing.
Right.
Because what you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Right.
So I don't say anything. And he, I wasn't sure how I was going to pay a bond. I'm a broke college kid.
Were you still on probation from Hancock County?
No.
Okay.
No, I'd been on probation for 10 months.
Okay, so now this is clean and the judge doesn't even have a docket on you and you're in front of him.
Yeah.
So now what?
Yeah, so he lets me out on my own recognizance. So I don't have to pay a bond or nothing, but I did have to wait another 48 hours to get released because that's just how the system was at the time. So get released, had to go to community corrections, had to get an alcohol monitor, had to get an ankle monitor.
Ching, 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 ching.
Yeah.
You gotta pay for this.
You gotta pay for that.
How much is this adding up out of your pockets? And you're a college student.
At the time, I don't know, but altogether, I'm out about $17,000 between the two. Between the two arrests, about $17,000.
And you're still going to college.
Yeah.
How are you being perceived? Sooner or later, you're going to have to wake up. You're in college. I know people seeing ankle bracelets.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be taxing your pockets because if you don't pay it, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
How do you change the narrative here?
I don't.
You continue doing the same thing.
Well, this second time around was my rock bottom. I lost my job. I almost lost college. I almost lost my financial aid.
How'd you lose your job first? Did you come
Being in jail and not showing up.
Okay.
They found out. Yep.
So you lose your job.
Lost my job.
How did you almost lose college?
You cannot be a felon
For financial aid.
and receive financial aid. Yeah.
Yeah, you're about rock bottom.
So I was rock bottom, man. I was.
Who's paying for your get out of jail material?
Me.
You can't do it now. You don't have a job.
No.
Now what happens?
So I got a job in town that I could walk back and forth to. Because they're tracking me. I'm on this ankle monitor the whole time, man. And they're tracking me, so I get a job that I can walk back and forth to. Because, again, got that license suspended. Found a wonderful couple to work for in town. They had grace and mercy on me. They were wonderful to work for. And from there, got off the ankle monitor, got on just regular probation, had a wonderful probation officer. He was strict, but he was kind. He was fair. He truly was fair with me. I got a full-time job, my first full-time job ever, graduated college with my degree.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. I graduated with cum laude honors.
Okay.
So I got it out by the skin of my teeth, man. Full-time job, things kind of start looking up, but it's a rough uphill battle.
What do you mean?
I took another plea deal for the second one, and part of this plea deal is this judge is going to throw the book at me, everything she possibly can, and in return, if I complete everything successfully, she will change this felony to a misdemeanor.
You know, that very seldom happened to people, so she must have saw something in you to even put that on the table.
Absolutely.
Your shit begins to change for real now.
Yeah. I've got a fighting chance now, and it's my last fighting chance.
With so much going on, did you share this with your mom and your dad? You know, you gotta, with so much going on and so much that you've been dealing with from, you know, school to here to drinking to blacking out, did you share a lot of this stuff with your mom and dad? Did they ever come around and say, what can we do? We see something.
Yeah. My mom and dad were by my side the entire time. They were the only people that were.
Makes you wonder, they were friends, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lost my friends, lost acquaintances, family members even. I truly did only have my mom and dad.
Somebody really shook your tree for real.
Yeah. And my tree needed shook, dude. I mean, I'm blacking out and I'm driving, and I'll be honest, this second time around, I woke up, I didn't know if I killed anybody.
I was getting ready to ask that. That never even crossed your mind through this whole concept that you could take somebody's life and wake up and your whole life will really change.
I just didn't think it would happen to me.
That's usually how it starts out.
It is, yeah. And I think waking up and thinking, oh my God, is somebody dead?
That's how I want to live my life.
I think God allowed me to experience that thought process to shake me awake and say, girl, you have got to get it together.
How powerful was your last choice? When that judge said that to you, how powerful was that message to you? How deep did it resonate knowing that that felony can fuck up your life
mess
for
up
real?
Everything.
Because what did you want to be? Let's start there. What did you want to be?
I wanted to be a cop. I went into college thinking I was going to go into law enforcement. I was dead set. I was in extracurriculars for it. I did an internship with the state police. I mean, I was on the track to become a cop. The second I got that first OWI, that was gone. My opportunity to operate in that capacity was gone.
You're going to this intern with them.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't it even resonate that your behavior is going to have to stop if you want to put on that blue? And did they even share it with you? Because you're an intern thing. I'm pretty sure somebody had to come up. If I'm a police officer, and I see you coming into the academy or whatever, I'm going to give you some pointers. Yeah. Hey, you may not want to drink. You may not want to do this. Did anybody come up to you to share that, or did you conceal your situation so good that nobody even thought about sharing some information like that?
Yeah, nobody said anything. Matter of fact, it was quite the opposite. It was, hey, let's go out and get drinks. And so drinking is kind of a way first responders kind of cope with things anymore. And that's the thing. We go out to bars, we get hammered, we get whatever. We hang out, nobody ever said anything.
So now you realize that felony can really stop. How do you change your life?
Yeah,
you got to do what she told you. How long did it take for you to grasp it and fulfill that mission that she sees in you?
13 months.
You go back in front of her, now what happens?
Oh gosh, I go back in front of her after I complete everything.
Did you have a lawyer?
I did, yeah. I had a paid lawyer, so I didn't do public defender, but I did have a lawyer. So yes, that helped. But she's still the judge. She can do whatever she wants. And I remember her name. I won't say it, but again, everything's public record. I remember being in front of her for the end of probation and everything, and it's called an alternate misdemeanor sentencing. It's AMS, and that's what this is going from a felony to a misdemeanor. And I go before her, and she says that at this point in time, I had actually joined the fire service while on probation, but I had a lot of restrictions on me, and she knew this. I was completely upfront and honest with the judge about everything, and I knew I had to be. Mm-hmm. And she had actually told me that she was really proud of me, and that if anyone was going to do it, she wanted it to be me.
That's deep.
And that judge, they're there for the whole process, man. They're watching your paperwork. They're listening to what your POs say. POs, probation officer. They're in it with you whether you realize it or not. So that was pretty powerful, and I knew at that moment, and I knew throughout the whole process, I needed to take accountability, regardless of who I'm talking to or where I'm at. Mm-hmm. Always take accountability for what I did. And I need to completely turn around and not look back. Or I wasn't going to get through this.
Did she talk to you privately after she made her ruling?
Yes. She told me don't let her down. And she gave me a hug.
What are you doing now with your life now?
I am now a full-time firefighter, paramedic.
Congratulations.
Thank you. A paramedic is actually a healthcare license. And you cannot, again, have a license as a felon. So, praise God for that. It's by the grace of God that I'm even here today, man. I tell you, God is really the one that got me through everything. I'm at one of the busiest fire departments in the state. We've done 18,000 runs last year.
Is that what township? Washington?
No, I'm at the city of Muncie.
Okay.
So I'm in Delaware County. I work at the Lucas Oil Raceway on the west side as a firefighter, paramedic out there. I also lead a small group for first responders to recover and heal from job-induced trauma and stress, and it's called Reboot First Responders. And my trauma and my stress doesn't necessarily come from the job, but it comes from what could have prevented me from doing the job.
Right.
And I feel like, and I've worked in the prison systems as an EMT before I went full-time in the fire service, and going through what I did helps me relate to people on the streets and my patients in a completely different way. And I think I've got a different perspective than some of my colleagues. So,
if you had to, I know you're going to share this with the judge, what would you tell her right now?
Thank you. I would tell the cops, thank you. I would tell my lawyer, thank you. I would tell my parents 1,000 times, thank you. It took a lot of people to snap me back into reality and say, man, this is not what you want. This is not the road you want to go down. I was looking at if I got another DUI, I was looking at an automatic 6 months in jail regardless. I was not going to have any mercy. I would hope that everybody along the way could see me now and be proud. I wish I could make everybody proud. I hope I'm somebody they're proud of.
What message would you give a viewer right now when all hope seemed to be questionable in your life? It took a judge to see deeper inside you to allow you to change your life, your direction. You're still helping people, you're making a difference. But what would you tell the people out there to keep that courage going? How would you address them?
Yeah, don't lose faith. Don't lose faith when you hit rock bottom and you're in that lion's den. You're not alone. There's people around you. There's help. There's resources. Don't hide it. Don't think you have to carry your burden by yourself, because you don't. Somebody out there will come along and help you and guide you and light that fire within you that needs lit.
How can the viewers reach out to you and be a part of the programs and the resources that you have to help them out? How can they reach you?
Yeah, I have a lot of resources. They can actually reach out to me on Facebook, Hannah Ruggles. I'm also on Instagram. That's LE Ruggles0 is my handle. LinkedIn, also by Hannah Ruggles. There's several ways. Find me on social media. There's several flyers out. I post a lot about Reboot. I'm very, very passionate about helping fellow first responders, especially when it comes to our mental health. We face a lot. I'm doing my dream job. I'm somebody who's literally living the dream, and I almost lost it.
What makes it your dream job before we wrap up?
Helping people, structure fires. There is, and I'll relate this to you. When back in your bodybuilding days, and
oh my God, you got to tell the viewers what you said before for the pre-show. You wanted to get into the.
I did. I wanted to get into the bodybuilding world in college. I was a huge athlete growing up into gymnastics and cheerleading. I was always lifting weights and everything, and thought about, competing in the NPC world, and you're one of the greats. You're the top dog in there.
Thank you. Like I said, I was, when she walked in, she goes, "I'm a big fan of yours." I was like, okay, how old are you again? So you like bodybuilding, so why did you pursue that?
Injuries throughout the years. Just didn't want to make it worse. I already do a physically demanding job as it is. But yeah, I'm living the dream. And like you asked, why is it the dream? What do I love about it? That feeling that you get when you're about to go out on stage and you're pumped and you're ready.
Yeah.
You're like, let's do this. That's the feeling I get when I see a burning building. The opportunity to help somebody, it's not that I want something bad to happen to anyone.
Right.
It's that when it does happen, I want to be the one there because I know I'm going to give you my absolute all.
You couldn't get no deeper than that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting episode of the Andre the Beast Creighton Show.